Today we're gonna do something different. We're gonna go back in time, all the way to 2020 to see if my chimp strategies from 2020 actually work in 2023. So this is an old chimp strategy that I did on Spillway, and I even titled this video, "The New Meta is Crazy Good." This video was uploaded on the 1st of July of 2020, and the strategy is apparently some sort of a sub-commander flagship and then into the biggest one, Mortar, with Striker Jones as the hero. So what we're gonna do today is we're going to completely copy this strategy step by step, and we're gonna see if this thing works 3 years later. There's no changes for the ninja as far as I can tell, so this start should be completely the same. And then, the obvious upgrades, so this is just gonna be upgrading the ninja in the next few rounds. It's going to be the ninja discipline as soon as possible, which is the attack speed one, and then we're gonna get hopefully the sharp shurikens before round 10. This is some sort of an expensive upgrade, I guess about 380. So by the time the big balloon rush comes in, I think that we should be able to get this. Yeah, there it goes. So there go the sharp shurikens, and this should be enough to hold us at least for the next few rounds, because the next thing that we're buying is actually very interesting. It's Striker Jones. And so Striker Jones, as you guys might have noticed the map, there's not a great spot for Striker Jones in general, because usually you would want to have him, because of his AoE attack, you would want to have him in the middle, but there's no place to play Striker Jones. There's no ideal place for him, and actually Striker Jones is going to be later on useful mainly for the mortar, I feel like. So here is his spot, by the way. Here is round 14, and this is when we play Striker Jones right here. So he needs to see a little bit into the track, just like that, I think. Okay, so in this next round, I'm getting the double shot, and actually, getting the double shot is not an issue. The issue, I guess, and something that I would do differently now is that it looks like I completely skipped over the couch shops. I never bought them in the guide that I made in 2020. So I feel like that was a mistake, probably because couch shops I'm not sure if they were weaker than they are right now, but I feel like they were always kind of decent. So here comes the most unexpected play, and that is this. Removing the valve for $2,000. Actually, I'm not sure if this is that unexpected, but because the strategy revolves around water towers, what you want to be doing is, I guess, removing this thing as early as possible. So getting the sub next, and actually what I noticed about the sub is that I placed it here towards the left side, because, let me just place it like this, I think it was. And you want to have this right side available, because later on we're going to have a Buccaneer there. So you kind of want to have the Buccaneer be able to target the middle as well. Oh, and actually, look at what I did for lead popping power. I placed the sniper right here. I had him on strong, and the money checks out. The money is right there just before the leads come out. That's very interesting. So this is the 101 sniper, actually, because on round 30 it looks like I am, well, round 29 actually, it looks like I'm upgrading this guy to fast firing, so it's going to be a 101 sniper, and I think I'm going to keep it like that, because this guy's entire role that he has in this game is just to pop the lead balloons, and that's about it. So the next few rounds are just upgrading the sub. Actually, I'm getting the twin guns and the advanced intel on the sub. This guy is eventually going to become air burst into triple guns, and this is just to, I guess, allow full map coverage, right, and to help out the level with these camos with this ninja, because the ninja, I mean, it's in a very good spot, but it needs some help, and the sub is going to be one of these core towers that we have, so it's very nice to start getting it upgraded as soon as possible. Okay, so round 35, I'm getting the triple guns here, and I'm questioning if this is going to be enough for round 36, actually. Oh, and look at that, well, wait, this is what I do on 36. I buy the sniper to 102. Is this gonna make that much of a difference? Why am I spending $400 here? I think this might have been like a panic buy or something like that. I don't think this does anything. Maybe for the lead balloons incoming on the next few rounds, but this doesn't do anything for 36. So round 37, I'm buying a Buccaneer in this right spot that we left, and I'm chilling in the next few rounds. So I'm getting the double shot, and we're going straight into the destroyer from round 39. So as soon as we get the money, we're going to be buying the destroyer, and then after the destroyer, we're not getting the grape shot, which would probably be an interesting choice, but we're getting the destroyer into the long range and then the crow's nest. And then when the Moab comes around 40, I use the ability when the Moab was about here, I think. So let me use the ability now, stun it in range, and this should be enough to pop the Moab, and there it is. It actually worked. I feel like, yeah, this is kind of interesting to see, I guess, my old way of thinking, because I guess the new me in 2023 would probably be buying some stuff like alchemists and maybe more meta towers. I don't feel like doing the subs and then the flagship strategy would be my first choice on us spillway chimps. Okay, so these next few rounds are very interesting, actually. I'm getting an alchemist. Wait, are we fine? Actually, let me just hurry up with the upgrade. So we're getting an Alchemist, but we're actually getting a 402 Alchemist. And the reason why we're getting a 402 is because back in 2020, these two upgrades, the Acid Pool and the Faster Throwing, they were swapped out. So you had to get the Acid Pools in order to buy the Faster Throwing, and eventually Ninja Crease swapped these upgrades out. We no longer need to get them in order to get the Faster Throwing, but I'm just gonna do it for the sake of consistency for this challenge. And then here's what happens. On round 49, actually, here's what I'm buying. I'm buying a village. So let me just place the village over here. Everything is in range. And then this village is actually a 020. Well, actually, the first time I saw this, I was a little bit baffled because why am I not getting the jungle drums? This is a very questionable buy, I'm just gonna say that, because this guy already has camo detection, and then the sub can see camos thanks to the ninja. So why am I getting a 020 village? I have absolutely no idea. I mean, I guess I guess for the Alchemist or something like that. But yeah, this is a very questionable purchase. This thing should not be here, or at least if we have the village, it should be like a 200. Okay, so apart from this useless waste of money, which was the 020 village, I actually started buying some other towers as well. So the mortar, finally we're getting this guy, and this is, let me just set the target to here, was the spot where I had it targeting, and I actually got the big one. I actually had it as a 420, and the reason why I had it as the 420 probably is because the Bernie stuff wasn't doing anything back in the day. So the Bernie stuff actually got buffed. They started making it increase the DPS the more you upgrade the top hat mortars, but back in the day it wasn't doing anything, so that's why we're going for a 420 mortar. Okay, so round 70, I should have enough money for the sub commander now, and I do, which is right on the dot, which kind of tells us that these prices have not changed that much, I guess, at least when it comes to these towers that we have. But I guess when you're looking at these things and when you're looking at this entire setup, this looks to me as a mediocre tower setup, and this is something that I definitely wouldn't be doing now. I feel like the Carrier Flagship Rush might have been a better tower just because you get the platforms and then you can put some towers inside of the circle, and maybe even, you know, some land towers that can do some damage. And also, I would probably be switching this mortar crosspad to 402, but that's just 2023, right? We didn't have this thing in 2020. This thing was just, this was just straight up the better crosspad. And then what is with this village purchase? Like, why did I buy a 020 village? I don't understand. Okay, round 82, finally some action. We are buying the Carrier Flagship. So the money is right there. It's spot on. So it looks like none of these towers actually got any significant price changes in 3 years for this to be happening. But finally, I like this Carrier Flagship purchase actually because it buffs the sub commander. So at least this is an upgrade I could get behind. Like it makes a little bit of sense. But something else that I noticed that I did was I actually placed the Dark Monkey here on the left side. So I think I placed it over here, and this should be, oh yeah, look at that. So you guys see the line? This Dark Monkey is actually a spotter for the sub, which I guess it's like, how much work is this thing actually gonna do? I guess it's gonna come in clutch on, if I had to guess, around maybe like 87 with the UMGs. But other than that, I'm not sure how significant this is gonna be. We're gonna buy it anyways. We bought the Jungle Drums. Finally, the Jungle Drums upgrade gets bought, and finally we're getting the, I think it was like what, 15-17% attack speed. This is such a no-brainer. It's just such a cheap upgrade to get. It's 1,500, actually maybe closer to 2,000 with the bigger radius, but come on dude, this should have been bought like way earlier, not in the 80s. Okay, so let's see if the Dark Monkey actually comes in clutch with these rounds, like 87. And 87 is actually the first round where I used the ability right here. So I stunned both of these UMGs, and then there were no other ability usages. So let's see if this is actually gonna be, oh yeah, it actually cleans them up. So it looks like starting from round 88 up until around 95, the thing that I'm doing is I'm constantly using the ability. So there's no saving of the ability. I'm just trying to, I guess I'm trying to hit as many balloons as possible, but there absolutely is ability usage constantly up until around 95. So I'm going to see you guys around 95 because that is when we, well, besides getting the MIB, which I'm gonna do now, besides getting this thing, the next thing that we're going for is we're just going for the mortar. So it's going to be the 520 mortar up until around 95 and just constant ability usage. So I'm going to see you guys in a second. So we're around 95 and some interesting things are happening. Well, first off, but the problem is that the biggest one costs 38.8. And in 2020, this thing used to cost $30,240, which means that the biggest one is not happening. So unless we can pull some magic, I'm just keeping this ability active. So unless we survive this entire run, which we are actually surviving this entire round, I can't believe this. We have the we have the 420. We have, I guess, more money, but this thing actually survived. So the run goes on. I feel like even though this thing is like $8,000 more expensive, the run keeps going. So let me get the biggest one, and then at this point we're doing super well, I think. So this biggest one is actually a lot better than it used to be because they added this mini stun onto Moab class balloons. It used to stun the small balloons with the shell shock, but now it applies to the Moab class balloons as well. So this basically means that it's a lot stronger than it was in terms of, especially when you get the melee crosspat, and just the stun is allowing for these guys to do a lot of damage. And this is in combination with Striker Jones, but let's just buy, I think I had the blue Sabo, which I bought right here, and the Sabo is for rounds like 98 and 99, but I feel like this thing is so strong that we're probably not gonna need anything else. So let's see how we're gonna do versus round 98. It's a huge mess, but I'm not gonna be using any abilities actually, so I'm just gonna let this thing go. I'm actually gonna only use the level 3 Jones ability, but I'm not gonna hit the level 10 or the Sabo. I want to save the Sabo for 99, and let's see how we're gonna do. So there goes round 98. I'm gonna hit the Sabo for 99. But yeah, this thing stuns DDTs, so we should not have any issues with these rounds. There we go. And then round 100. Let's see if these guys can beat round 100. I'm gonna micro this guy a little bit. It doesn't do damage. It's like 100 damage a pop, but it's like, I guess it's better than nothing. And let's see if this is going to be enough to pop the bat, and let's see if our setup actually works. This is a 3-year-old setup that might actually work. If the bat pops, we might have a chance of getting this actually. Maybe we can stun things and slow them, but this thing needs to pop as soon as possible, so use everything now. Oh my god, those ceramics. I'm actually going to use the level 10 ability, which gives this thing double damage. So hopefully, I mean, this is on the, if we don't get it here, we're not getting it. So this mortar needs to come in clutch right now. And it does. It actually does. Wow. That was amazing. So our 2020 strategy actually worked in 2023. That's amazing. So back in the day, I actually did a bunch of these chimps videos. I think my playlist has over 50 videos. So if you guys like this video, we're going to do a couple more of them. We're going to try what I used to use back in the day, and we're going to see if those strategies work. But for now, that's it for this one. Thank you guys for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.